Hi, my name is Amber, and today I'm going to be showing you what I'll be reading in the month of September. The first two that I'll be reading is the last two books that are out in the Song of Ice and Fire series by George R. R. Martin. The fourth book being A Feast of Crows. Really enjoying it so far, as I've already started it. It's a little bit different because there's new perspectives, and although in the third book there was a few new perspectives, I already felt like I knew one of them from other books, and the other one I really liked from the very get-go, but these new perspectives I'm just not really sure about, other than the captain of the guard, really liking him. So very interesting. I'll be trying to read A Dance with Dragons this month, which is the latest book in the series that has come out, and super excited because I'm thinking that this book is gonna go crazy, and I'm expecting a lot more craziness from even this one, which is, if you can't tell, but the title is gonna be more about Daenerys, I'm guessing, and all of that, so we don't really get to see a lot of the people from the fourth book. Both of these books start off right after the events of the third book, so it's kind of a different, intriguing way of getting the story across. So we'll see where this leads me, and I'm just really excited because I love this series so freaking much. Then I'm going to be trying to get through the Inheritance Cycle by Christopher Paolini. The first book is Aragon, second is Eldest, Finger is the third, and the last is Inheritance. I have read the first two books, but I feel I need to reread them so that I remember where the story basically has left off, because I remember basically the first book, but the second book I'm not so sure about, and that's because I've read Aragon 2 times already. So anyways, I'm super excited for this one also. I don't think this is going to actually take me all that long because it's a very easy read. It's not as complexly written as the Song of Ice and Fire series, so it's not going to be no problem to get through. I'll be trying to read White Oleander by Janet Fitch, and this is about Iris and Astrid. Iris is the mother of Astrid. She is a brilliant poet who is in prison after murdering her lover. Astrid is moved from foster care to foster care, and this book just deals with the effects of what her mother did and how she gets through living in all these foster cares and all that. I already read like the first chapter, so I'm thinking that I will, because it's really written well and I was very intrigued by the story already. So just super excited to actually finish this book. It sounds very interesting, and I like books that are more character study and not full of action. So this will be something that I think I will definitely like. Then I'm going to be reading Oliver Twist by Charles Dickens, and I've had this book on my shelf for like 5 years maybe, and I just haven't really gotten around to actually reading it. I like read like the first maybe 2 pages and I was like, oh my gosh, he's so long-winded, and it was just kind of very dry for me. So I have to actually read this book. I'm determined to read this book. I think everybody knows the basic storyline of this is about Oliver Twist, an orphan who ends up on the streets of the Victorian era London, and he's unknowingly included into a gang, and it's just basically his adventures on the streets and all the people that he meets. It sounds very interesting. The storyline does sound interesting. It's just trying to get through his writing that is going to be the issue. Then I'm going to be reading The Thornbirds by Colleen McCulloch. I'm not really sure, but I think this book is based in Australia and that this is where the book takes place. I also don't know exactly the storyline, but I believe that is about 2 people who are in love but are thwarted by others who don't want them to be together, and I guess it's supposed to be like an epic romance, I'm guessing. I'm not really 100% sure, but I'm really excited because this is really based off in Australia. I am so excited because I don't think there's a lot of books that are written that are about Australia or have Australia as the backdrop for the story, so I'm just super excited. The book I want to read this month is Invisible Man by Ralph Ellison. I'm sorry, but I don't remember what this book is about. It's been such a long time since I've actually read a clear synopsis on what this is about, and I can't really give you one from here because it just isn't really that clear of a synopsis, so I don't really understand what it's supposed to be about. But I remember watching a review and they said it was really good, and I know that I was interested in the synopsis when I read the synopsis, so when I saw this I was like, hey, I'll get it, and it was really cheap, so it was worth the buy. And I just hope that the book itself is more clearly written than the synopsis itself. So just crossing my fingers, and I am really excited to read this because it's been a long time coming. But that is not all. I have a book that I will be starting to read this month for class after I've written that paper on jazz. So that book will be Things Fall Apart by Chinua Achebe. I'm not really sure if this is how you pronounce the name. I'm sorry if I butchered it. I have no clue if I pronounced it right at all. I'm just going to read you the synopsis on the back because that will be easier for me. Things Fall Apart tells two intertwining stories, both centering on Okonkwo, a strongman of Iwo village in Nigeria. The first, a powerful fable of the immemorial conflict between the individual society, traces Okonkwo's fall from grace with the tribal world. The second, as modern as the first is ancient, concerns the clash of cultures and the destruction of Okonkwo's world with the arrival of aggressive European missionaries. These perfectly harmonized twin dramas are informed by an awareness capable of encompassing at once the life of nature, human history, and the mysterious compulsions of the soul. So that's basically what it is. It does sound interesting. I am really hoping that it sounds good. I've heard several people on BookTube talk about it and saying that it's really good. So I know I'm not going to be able to read all of the books, but I always give myself 10 books a month, and then I just kind of strive for that goal. And usually I can at least get 8 books in, but I'm not really sure because of Feast of Crows and Dance with Dragons and these 4. I'm just not really sure what's going to happen with that. So crossing my fingers that I'll get a lot of these done. If you've read any of these books and what you thought of them, I would like to know, just no spoilers. And thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.